Bear with me, folks, as I try to figure this out. There.
Yes, sir. I'm here now.
Hate this shit. I gotta figure out how to work this.
There we go.
So, oh, it's chilly in here today.
Yeah, I see you're all bundled up.
Yeah. All right, let's go to. Okay. Made the post. Go. And we're live. So we'll just kind of hang out for a minute while everybody's
cool. Yeah, give everybody a chance to get in the room and say hello, all that good stuff.
Yep. I'm gonna get this off. Well, yeah.
I've got some of my goodies here. I got my little mortar and pestle here for mixing herbs and stuff. You know.
Yeah. I've actually got a nice little one that was given to me that I really like, but I use it more for the kitchen than anything else.
Yeah, this one's marble, I think.
Oh, that sounds like a nice one.
It's really this is only $10.
Jesus.
You know, it's got a nice inside. The inside got little grooves all the way around the inside, little really fine grooves. So when you're grinding it in there, you know, it kind of sticks in the corners. And you got to brush it out, but it works really well for for home herbs and stuff. Because I collect all my own stuff.
It's nice to put on the fucking wall. You know, never mind use it. That's pretty awesome.
Well, I use this for some herbs, not a whole lot, but I do use it occasionally.
Yeah. It's nice and deep. Like the one I have is not as deep. It's much smaller.
Yeah, this one's about I must say 2.5, 3 inches deep. About 2.5 inches deep.
So, how was the day? How's the old lady? How's the weather?
Pretty good. Well, it's a little chilly, but it's not as bad as it has been. Today was 29 here today, which was a heat wave. It could have 33 today, just above freezing. It's supposed to be 40 tomorrow, so that means my pipes will thaw out because my pipes are all froze.
Only the rich. Only the rich. Hey, you guys, whoever's viewing, introduce yourself in the chat box. Say hello. Let us know that you're there. As you can see, Mike's here with me as well. So we're just going to give it a few more minutes for people to come in, but come on in and, here.
Yeah, I've noticed your chat sessions there have had quite a good gathering of folks. You had like 17 people in the room at one time, which is...
Oh, we topped 20 yesterday, which is kind of cool. I gotta stop this shit. It's starting to go to my head, yeah?
Well, I like your honesty and your you're straight and to the point. You don't blow sunshine up anybody's butt. Tell it like it is. That's how it ought to be,
Well, it's funny because I've been having a chat with people, especially lately, over that specific thing. It's like, look, I said, I'm not the guy that wants to do all this polished editing shit. I'm not trying to be a fucking whatever. I'm no different from you or any of the other guys, in the group as far as like, as a person, right? And the thing is that we don't necessarily always talk polished. And when we do stuff like this, we try to kind of change it to make it look marketable and stuff, which that's your goal. That's cool. But that's not my goal. My goal is to kind of like just talk with you, just chat about shit the way I would if you were sitting down beside me, with a coffee in your hand and show you who I am. So that way I'm not, nobody can confuse me for being some fucking, whatever. I'm just a guy, right? Just like you. And, some people appreciate that I'm seeing it, and that's cool because it kind of makes me appreciate it. Yeah.
I don't see how people get so emotional over a post that they read that they don't agree with.
Well, I kind of get it. I do because people are offended. People are offended by so goddamn everything, so goddamn always. The problem is, maybe that should be the thing that should let you know as an individual that maybe there's something wrong. If everything you see and hear offends you, maybe the common denominator isn't them, it's you. You know,
Yeah, right.
And the end result of that is a fucking lonely life.
Yeah.
So if you go with that, that's great. That's your right to choose. Like I say, I have absolutely no problem with somebody making a choice in life, regardless whether it's the right choice or the wrong choice. It's your right to choose. But if you're wondering why people are fucking hating on you, well, take a look in the fucking mirror, and maybe that might be the issue. Maybe you might want to adapt, or maybe mommy didn't love you. He whooped your ass too hard, or maybe daddy wasn't there. Who the fuck knows? Everybody I know has a story of their life of how shit it was, and here we are,
right,
together. So we're kind of the same, yeah.
Yeah. I've been working on this a cedar arrow because everybody's been asking me that, asking if I make cedar arrows. And here's one I started. That's it's three tips. It's like a broom handle right now. I mean, it's pretty. It's almost as big as my thumb. It's pretty thick. But I carved these with this little hand plane, little palm plane.
Jesus.
And what I love about this thing fits in your shirt pocket.
How long did you cure it? How long did you cure the wood? How long did you let it cure?
Well, it's a dead cedar tree that was laying on the ground, that had been laying on the ground for several years. I just cut a real straight part of the trunk, cut it, and split it about I split it about 12 times, and then I'm just whittling down the straightest ones I could find out of the bunch, or the ones I can carve a straight one out of. And cedar splits pretty straight, as long as you can find it without any knots in it. As you can see, it's got little bitty ripples and stuff down the stick here.
Well, how do you get the proper straight circumference, so it actually flies true?
I carve it until it starts to flex a little bit, because that right there is really, really stiff. I mean, it doesn't want to bend at all. Because you do want that archer's paradox, that kind of a swim flight through the air. When the arrow flies through the air, they fly better. If they flex just a little bit, they have to flex slightly, and it depends on the size. The diameter of the arrow depends on how many pounds you draw on when you release the arrow. How much force is on the back of it to make it flex. And but yeah, I like to carve these by hand, and it takes a while, but it can be done.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's not so much that you want to, because I was looking at it and I was thinking about all the different things, and I was like, I'm honestly better off just buying them. But at least if I figure it out, I know that should I, be in one of those situations where you just blah 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 blah.
I really don't like making these. I hate making these things with a passion. It's
a lot of work.
Tedious job, and it's a lot of work, because if you make a little mistake, you fuck up. You've wasted all that time that you put into the arrow.
And that's my problem, is that I tend to do that. I tend to go like 90%, and then I fuck it up at the end.
What I want to do is I want to know that I practice a little while, once in a while, just so that I know that if I absolutely had to, I could make an arrow like that and shoot it and kill a deer. You know what I mean?
If that was the situation where you just absolutely had to, okay, so I'm gonna have to kind of back and forth. Okay, I will simply have to bounce back and forth the YouTube page and the live chat, and to see comments. All right, now let me just go over there, because for some reason I am just not seeing people's chat comments in the live feed, so I have to kind of go back and forth.
I'm going to go to the live feed here just in a second.
Just make sure you get it off your end.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I'm not seeing chats here. Oh, here we go. Homestead Preps, howdy. So start today. Chat not working. Okay, I can see the chat on my page, my YouTube page, but not in the live feed. So we'll just kind of have to utilize that way.
You have to. I think if you go up to on the left-hand corner, there's chat up there. There's a blue box up there in the top left-hand corner. Yeah, that's the chat window on the right. And
yeah, I know it opens it up, but the people that are watching can't access the chat for some reason, and I don't know what it is. To list all the available commands, enter / question mark.
There you go. I just typed me. It says hello.
You can do it, but they can't, and that's the. Okay, sends a private message, shortcuts, opens keyboard to help screen, help displays a list of commands, go to user profile, mute, unmute, vmute, unview, mute users. Display, yeah, that's not really helpful. Okay, so I'll just have to go back and forth for now and figure it out for next time. Who's still watching? Homestead, you're still there, are you? Somebody chat something in the live chat on the Facebook or on the YouTube page, please, so I can see that it's kind of working. Right. Okay. So we got a few people watching anyways. I just don't know who.
Cool.
People reach out, say hello. Okay, so we were talking Homestead
chat. Go ahead.
Use the YouTube chat feature, please. Okay, yeah, we were chatting about herbal remedies and stuff, and there was somebody who was expressing their health issues.
Yeah, there was a guy. Yeah. One of the best natural antibiotics. Then what I like about the natural antibiotics is they really work. You know, they're not bullshit, because if they were, I wouldn't be promoting them. Is raw honey, apple cider vinegar with garlic.
That's Jamie's.
It is hands down the best natural antibiotic on the planet. I've been taking it for 7 months. I've got a tooth bag here that I can stick the end of my rifle barrel in it. I mean, it's got a big hole in my tooth back here. 7 months ago, it was abscessed. My jaw was swelled up. I started taking this stuff here, and I haven't had a toothache since.
Is that Jamie Burley's mixture?
No, that's mine.
Oh, okay, okay. And what was it made of again?
It's raw honey, raw unfiltered honey. You can see the name on it there. It's Mountain Ridge.
Oh, okay,
raw
okay.
Honey.
So it's raw honey with vinegar.
Yep. I take a half. I split this up into 2 jars, equal parts of honey, and then I'll put about a half a cup of vinegar on top of the honey, and a great big heaping teaspoon of minced garlic, and put it on top.
See, Mr. Norm, fucking garlic. What did I tell you, bastard?
Shake it up. The garlic purifies your blood, and if you want really good garlic, really the best garlic is wild garlic. It's 10
okay.
times.
Now that's funny you say that. I told Norm, because he was going through a little bit of sickness lately. I said, look, get a clove of garlic in the morning, peel one out, and chew on it. Follow it. It's good for you.
The honey. Okay, this is something about honey. Honey never spoils. Anything you put in honey is preserved.
No.
Anything. It pickles the honey pickles the garlic, makes it sweet, so it makes it a lot easier to eat, and it's also that's a real good antibiotic for the wild. There's a little bit of honey and some garlic, and you're good to go, man. It'll kill almost any infection there is.
Awesome. Anyway, so during that talk, we were talking about natural pain relievers, and that's something that I would like to really specifically, because me personally, just like a lot of others, we've got our own health issues, and as we get older, they don't seem to straighten themselves out anymore. And I'm not a believer of the pharmaceutical culture. I despise it. I tell my doctors, I've actually lost a doctor because of that. And for me, it's like I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm become reliant upon a pharmaceutical. You know what I mean? Because let's face it, that doesn't do anything. It just masks the problem and offers a band-aid, which I guess is good at sometimes, but it's not good for you. It bunches you up and it fucking causes all kinds of problems.
I have found for myself that most of the time, any medications you get from the pharmacy are going to have side effects.
Yeah, and it
And a lot
usually
of
leads to
time-
more pharmaceuticals,
Yeah, and the side effects are usually worse than the symptoms.
which is funny because if you look on the bottles, they'll say may cause death, almost to a T.
Yeah. Well, what I like about like this raw honey stuff, that stuff, it does have it has one side effect.
Gives you the shits.
No, it gives you energy. When the honey wears off, well, the honey is pretty much just straight energy. It's natural sugar. It's good for it's okay for diabetics to eat it because it doesn't affect your blood sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's natural. So that's but when the honey's gone and your energy's gone, it makes you hungry. That's the only side effect it has.
So it's kind of like
If you eat on it, I can live with that. I can eat something after I take that stuff. That's one of the and
I broke my back during a jump accident. Fucked up my lower lumbar 1 through 4. I snapped my scapula, my humerus. My knees are shot, and as I'm getting older, I'm putting on weight, so I'm not as active and healthy. There's all kinds of things, and with that comes in things like, arthritis and all this other shit. I mean, coming change of weather, I'm in fucking hell.
I've got three herniated discs, L4,
Yes.
L5, and S1 right in between my shoulder blades.
Well, I'm starting to develop a problem up in the S area, but it's the lower area right now, which is, So I know you can do like a acetaminophen or like a Tylenol kind of, or rather an aspirin, a natural aspirin.
Yeah,
but I know there's more. Yeah, and I know that majority of the pharmaceuticals started off as natural plants, and they just synthesized them to make them en masse for cheap. So what are some of the more natural pain relievers that people might find in their areas of North America, for instance?
Well, first of all, this is it's called Lactuca virosa is the Latin name. It's opium lettuce or prickly lettuce. It has a strip of spines all the way on the back of each leaf. Has a strip of spines that long on them that are some of them are 1/8 of an inch long. Spikes on the back of each leaf. It's called prickly lettuce. If you cut that, it's got a really milky white stuff in it that leaks out. If you cut a bunch of those and let that stuff drip out on wax paper, and if you smoke the resin from that stuff, it's like it's kind of like morphine for a painkiller.
Can you do it from smoking? I mean, does it have to be smoked? Can you chew it? Can you swallow it?
It's very bitter, really nasty tasting. That's why I smoke it. I've tried to do it orally, and I just can't do it. My mouth, your mouth puckers up so bad it's like eating alum or something. It's
But
really.
you can do it and get the same effect. Wish to smoke.
I'm sure you could, but I think like you could probably make a tincture.
Then you
But
can.
the Native American, I go by the traditional uses, and the Indians smoked it just like opium. But it's not addictive. It's
Well,
it's
there is
painkiller.
a problem I could see, and like anything that you burn, cigarettes or otherwise, even pot and even these other things, there's a carcinogenic result from burning something that you inhale. So there is people that just absolutely refuse to smoke things. For instance, if they're anti-smokers, there's, maybe a tincture.
Yeah, there's the tinctures, but like for people with asthma, mullein, the big flower head off of mullein, has a big tall flower head on it. You can use those yellow flowers on the top of the mullein. You can use the flowers and put them in oil and make eardrops for earaches.
We can do other videos that cater to things like asthma or diabetes or whatever, but I want to try to focus for now at the beginning on the pain things.
Painkillers. Another good painkiller. I do for the really good painkiller, do the opium lettuce and it's a little white flowers called ghost pipe. But you have to look for a particular mushroom because they only grow with these certain mushrooms. They're called vomiting rosellas. They're little red rosella mushrooms. They grow about this big around. They usually got an indentation on the top of the cap, and I kind of put their.
Are they regional dependent though? Like this is the other thing. What areas do you find these in?
Usually mixed with a mixed hardwood and pine. Because I find them with lobster mushrooms when I'm looking for mushrooms.
Anywhere where you can find some pine trees, hypothetically, you should be able to find something like this.
Well, those particular mushrooms have to be there because those mushrooms are the host to that flower, and it's the only place that they grow. And the ghost pipe is usually a white flower. It's a flower that has no chlorophyll. It's white.
Maybe what we could do if we do this again next time we do this, if you can get samples, like an example to show people,
Here, hang on. I got. Let me get my desktop. I can share the pictures because I've got a folder full of the pictures that I've taken.
Okay. And maybe that would be something you could do is go out one day with your phone and just turn the live feed on if you can get a reception and actually pick some, show people for those that can't come down and say hi to you.
All right. Okay, here, let me see how. Yeah, preview. There we go.
Now, every now and then I hear your wife in the background, so she's obviously there hanging out with you. Does she get involved with this too? Does she do this, and does she know this kind of stuff too? Is this something you do together, or?
Well, I do it mostly on my own, but she goes with me everywhere I go. When I teach classes and stuff, she's right there by my side the whole time. So she learns a lot. She just doesn't speak a lot.
No, that's fine. I was just curious because I've been looking at personalities lately and how they interact with those around them as far as like their significant other or whatever, and you see the energy level in people based off of when they either do it on their own or do it with somebody or do it with their significant other or whatever the case. So I was kind of curious.
Right. Okay, I want to share my screen here and see if this works.
Now, you guys that are watching, can you see this? Can you hear this well? Oh shit! Get rid of that. Nobody wants to see that shit.
Can you see that?
I can see me. I can see your screen, and I can see me.
Okay, right there. Can you see that?
Oh, there we go. I can sort of see it. Not very clear, but it's too small. That's why. But I mean, I can see it's kind of droopy, and it's got a white head.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to blow it up there a little bit.
That's got to be 30 inches tall.
Like looks like droopy bells, but the stems are kind of translucent, like you can see through them.
Okay.
Clear white colored.
Now,
and if you notice the ground, there's pine needles there.
Now, any of you guys that are watching, have you ever seen that shit out by you? Have you ever come across that? Maybe you didn't know what it was called, or maybe you just thought it was kind of.
Yeah, it has two names. It's called Indian pipe or ghost pipe. Ghost pipe. It doesn't have any color. It's kind of a ghosty flower. Kind of a ghostly looking flower.
Sure. I think if I would have seen that, I probably would have picked it and gave it to the old lady because it kind of looks pretty.
Yeah, they're. Well, I noticed them one time out picking lobster mushrooms, and I didn't know what they were, and then I went and did some research on it, and because I take pictures of all the stuff that I'm curious about. And I'm out in the woods when I'm out mushroom hunting all the time. My wife's got her phone, and I'll just snap a picture of it and then come home and Google it.
Sure.
Until I find what I'm looking for and read about it.
Mike Putt.
And then go back.
Oops. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll go ahead back and harvest it if it's useful, and that's something else I like to encourage everybody to do your own research.
Yeah. I can't stress that enough. I mean, we share information here, but understand that this is information we're sharing, and it's up to you. Like you go out and you pick the wrong mushroom and get sick and then cry about it. Well, guess what? You're a jackass. You're supposed to verify that information. We can only share. Steve Bondi was saying he thinks he's seen the red mushroom you were talking about, but he always thought they were deadly. Can you put a picture of that up, or the one that you were referring to?
Yeah. Okay. This is the opium lettuce.
I know what this is. That's the one that you were saying finds and it bleeds the milk.
Yep, that's it right there.
We got that shit everywhere, and that can be that's your painkiller, your opiate.
Yep, that's it.
Huh?
There's another one that's looks more like lettuce. It's got like I don't know, the leaves are a little skinnier, not rounded on the ends like this up here. They're more pointed leaves, but they still have the spikes on them and on the back of the leaf. It's a different type, but this one here is the most potent of the two. They both work, but this one here is a little more potent.
Now maybe we should.
And this is
kind of future thing of how
to. If you smoke it, so expect that. I mean, it's not going to get you stoned, but it will. You know, it's got a mild sedative.
Huh. Homestead Preps, isn't that itchweed? Is that a name for it? Itchweed? Do some people call it that? Maybe is it a regional name? Maybe.
No, I've never heard it called that. It's either prickly lettuce or opium lettuce.
I think I've heard it called prickly lettuce, but I seem to remember maybe also hearing
we have
itchweed
called a cow itch or pepper vine.
Does it sort of look similar?
No.
Okay.
Now bull thistle, south thistle, they're both thistle. They have thorns on the leaves, but it's not like that. Right there.
That's the red cap ones. Is that what it looks like to you, Stephen?
Yeah, it's called the vomiting salt. They are toxic, and if you eat them, they'll make you throw up. You'll
Well, that's what a lot of that kind of thing is that it you might think you're high, but really you're just kind of poisoned. And that's why it's really important to research. Do cross the information.
Mushrooms, the red mushrooms with the white spots on them. Those are poisonous as hell. That's what you get high from, and you hallucinate from is the poison.
Yeah, it's your body rejecting the poison side. No, the ones I saw were more like a cup. So, is there a red mushroom you know of that looks like a cup? Did it have any spots on it, Steve, or anything like that, or was it just solid red, bright red, dull red? I mean,
yeah, most of the time,
red. Do you remember anything more about it?
With mushrooms, it's pretty much a warning sign in nature for mushrooms. If it's red, leave it alone.
Well, it's kind of like anything, any kind of plant almost, berries, with the exception of some of the more known like raspberries, strawberries, and that kind of thing. But a lot of these small berries, they tend to be poisonous.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things you're taught as a kid is you always hear your mom, leave it alone if it's red. And I mean, this is the thing. Like for me, this kind of shit is not something I excel at, and I've never spent a lot of time doing it because I didn't have such an interest in it. Now that I'm starting to get interest, it's really hard to sift the information and the opinions.
Yeah, the red thing with the berries is really not true. Because there's a lot of berries out there that are red that are really edible. Strawberries, mock strawberries, Indian strawberry,
fruits,
hips,
raspberry.
All kind of and autumn olive is kind of a reddish orange color. Autumn olive is kind of like a sweet tart fruit,
Yeah.
We make fruit roll-ups out of them.
So far, we got 3 potentials, pretty common potentials for alleviating pain. Is there anything else that you could think of, or that you can blend it with to kind of enhance?
You can make a tea with passion flowers. That's really kind of a sedative. That's kind of a sedative and a sleep. Yeah, it's a sleep aid. It'll help you relax, and you use the flowers and the flower and the leaves from the passion flower and the passion fruit vine. The flower, use the leaves and make a tea out of it. It actually tastes pretty good.
Huh. Stephen mentioned that the ones that he was talking about, it was pretty small, thin-stemmed, and fairly bright red. He's trying to look it up right now, but he says if he remembers correctly, they kind of grew in a circle. Is there a type that kind of grows in a pattern or something, or
none that I can really think of.
Homestead Prep says, I heard nightshade can be boiled. and it's good for you.
Nightshade. Nightshade. Most nightshade. Anything in a nightshade family is really pretty much toxic. That's why it's called a nightshade. The nightshades are deadly, like foxglove, deadly poisonous. Nightshade potatoes. Potatoes are a nightshade. Tomatoes are nightshade, and they can potentially be. The plant itself can be poisonous, where the fruit's edible.
Mike McCarty, he typed in the Facebook group rather than the YouTube group. I don't know if he's there. I think he is. He says bone set. Not really sure what he means by that, but perhaps you can.
Yeah, here, I've got a picture.
Read on that, Mike.
I've got right here. So I just took some pictures a couple months ago. This I've got some here in a baggie already dry. Right there it is. Go back to screen share here again.
What were you referring to, Mike McCarty? What about bone shade?
Bone set.
Or bone set, rather. Yeah. Yeah. And there I am again. Oh, that's not bone set. Oh, that's not a bone set.
That's bone set.
There we go.
Okay, bone set, the stem comes up right in through the center of the leaf. The leaf is kind of joined on both sides, through the middle. Kind of like, if you know what cupweed is, it's a lot like cupweed. There's a little cut. It forms a little flat spot there where the leaves are joined together. On cupweed, it makes a little cup where, you can collect water. But bone set.
And what is
it used by the Native Americans?
What's it used for?
It's you make a tea, it makes a really strong, nasty tasting tea. But it increases your body temperature and makes your kidneys work, makes you pee a lot. Is your temperature, and it helps you break a fever. The Indians had what they call bone break fever, where they'd break a bone or something, like they break their leg, they'd get a real high fever. They'd take this to break the fever.
Yeah, Mark McCarty, rather, not Mike McCarty. Mark McCarty saying he thinks bone set is used for a painkiller, which would make sense because, if you just said, it's bone set, you break a bone, you drink this tea, and it's kind of like it helps reduce the fever and everything else. It might be almost not necessarily a painkiller, but it's maybe a muscle relaxer of sorts.
I'm not really sure. All I know is that I've drank it one time. And I know that it does increase your body temperature. If you drink a cup of it, in 10 minutes, you feel like you're going to sweat your ass off and you're hotter than hell. It really increases your body temperature and hours, and then it'll makes you piss a lot. It's like drinking coffee, make you have to go to the bathroom.
So I just did a Google search of bone set. And this is what the www.herbal-supplement-resource.com says. Botanical name, Eupatorium perfoliatum. The genus name, Eupatorium, is derived from ancient king Mithridates Eupator, who was the first to use the plant for medicinal purposes. Common names, wood bone set, thoroughwort, sweating plant. Well, there's that sweating thing that you were talking about, Mike. Thorough stem, teasel, ogweed, thoroughwax, feverwort. I think I've heard of that. Wild osic, crosswort, vegetable antimony, Indian sage. Definitely heard of that. Terrio and wild sage. Habitat. It's mainly found in temperate regions of North America, ranging from Florida to Canada. It's also found as far west as Texas and is common weed among the edges of swamps and along streams. Has a high affinity for moisture, and it prefers grounds that get wet a lot. Plant parts used, mainly the leaves and the flowers are used, the latter commonly being dried after harvest. Let's see if I can do what you just did. Give me a second, folks, and tell me if you can see. What did you do to share the screen, Mike?
The top left up there, that green screen with the arrow in it.
Yep,
click on that. So share.
There we go. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
What about you guys out there? Can you see my screen? Okay, let we go. Enjoying content. Okay, can you see that picture, Mike?
Yeah.
Moonset plant, Eupatorium perfluorophytium.
That looks like hedge parsley.
That, yeah, kind of does. I've seen those up here a lot too. I didn't know what they were. I just thought they were weeds, you know.
That's not a hedge parsley, though. The leaves aren't right. But
therapeutic benefits and claims in traditional uses, various medical properties,
okay.
Antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, diaphoretic. That's the peeing thing. Febrifuge, yep. Immune stimulant, lax stimulant. It's used by the American Indians in treatment of a range of conditions. These include colds, influenza, rheumatism, dengue fever, or bone break fever, hence the name boneset, malaria, and typhoid fever. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Scientific research to say that it can also be used to treat the common cold or a natural treatment for the flu, possibly due to the stimulation of the immune system. Can increase the resistance to infections, loosen phlegm, especially in older people. A diuretic and a laxative, herbal remedy for relief of constipation as well. It also aids urine flow, which is one thing you touched on. Promise for herbal remedy to fight against tumors, migraine relief. Shit, Norm, you got to check that out for that. Fibromyalgia, diarrhea, and intestinal worms. It's thought to reduce fevers by increasing sweating, and that was one of the things that you touched on too. So as you see, people, this is kind of one of those things where, you know, you heard Mike say it, and then I just cross-referenced it, and that's only one site. Don't like, you know, take just one site, but you see that you can cross-reference information very easily with a little bit of effort. Stop being lazy.
If you're going to use this,
and we'll see.
Definitely mix it with something because it tastes. It's you're definitely going to want to put some honey in it. And I put like a tablespoon of honey in a cup of it if you're drinking it like a tea, because otherwise it is unpalatable. It is really nasty.
Now I'm not still sharing the screen, am I? Okay, I didn't know how to do that or not.
Stop sharing. Yeah, you're good.
I guess some people missed the thing, but we can always post it later. But yeah, I mean, it seems like a really handy plant, and it's something that I have seen like literally everywhere I've been in North America. I mean, it's just a common plant. So I mean, that's kind of nifty too. And as you can see, folks, it's like a lot of the shit you overlook or you take for granted just because it's there and you don't really pay attention. There's a need or use for it. I'd say that's kind of design of sorts. You know what I mean? Like people, we don't necessarily always understand things for what they are without that deep, you know, taking a look and actually paying attention. And sometimes somebody else has to point it out. So it's good to cross it with other information when you do hear something. Whether you believe the person or not is irrelevant. You know, take that time and cross it. Just for your own peace of mind and your own safety. Yeah. But if you look,
guys, when I post pictures and stuff on this page, if I post anything on there, if it's not something that I don't have personal experience with, I'm not going to post it. I'm not going to come out there and try to bullshit somebody and say I know something that I don't know. If I don't know something, I'm not ashamed to say, hey, I don't know. Somebody teach me.
Mr. Eddie Cave has a question for you. He wants to know what 10 wild herbs would you grow in a house garden?
Well, I already have several here that grow naturally. Yarrow. I grow mint and yarrow already. I've got a bag full of yarrow here because I use yarrow. Yarrow is good for blood clotting.
Okay.
You see how long the thing is. High in vitamin K, blood clot. So you make a poultice on it, and and it'll stop, a pretty moderate bleeding almost on contact because it makes your blood contact as soon as it hits it. It's just. I've made tea and used that for a cold with mix that with honey, make yarrow tea, and that doesn't taste real good. You can also use that for a mild painkiller. For the Indians used to chew on you for toothache. Yuri. Can you see me? On up here, but I think I lost Gary. I'll be back in 2 seconds. I got to go get another cup of coffee. How long to get this? Just quit.
Well, nobody's on the internet. So I was in there making sure.
Sorry, I didn't mean to